Sometimes, we carry regrets not because of what we did, but because of what we never said. This is the story of Rita, a young woman from a quiet village. It is a story of love, friendship, pride, and loss. But above all, it is about the last conversation she ever had with the person who meant the most to her. So sit with me, listen closely, and perhaps, in Rita's story, you will find a piece of your own. Chapter 1, The Beginning. Rita grew up in a little village surrounded by wide fields, dusty paths, and the sound of children's laughter echoing under the acacia trees. Life was simple, mornings filled with fetching water from the well, afternoons filled with chasing goats away from the gardens, and evenings lit by the warm glow of lanterns as families gathered to share stories. But for Rita, what made life truly special was Vera. They met in school, two small girls sitting on the same wooden desk. Rita was shy, her voice barely above a whisper. Vera was the opposite, bold, full of laughter, the kind of girl who could turn even the dullest day into an adventure. Somehow, they balanced each other perfectly. From that day, they were inseparable. They braided each other's hair, shared secrets whispered in the dark, and made promises to never let life pull them apart. Chapter 2, The Bond of Sisterhood. Theirs wasn't just friendship. It was sisterhood. When Rita's father passed away, it was Vera who held her hand throughout the night. She didn't speak much. She didn't need to. She simply sat there, her presence stronger than any words. When Vera's family struggled, Rita shared what little she had. She would sneak food from her mother's kitchen and slip it into Vera's bag with a mischievous smile. They grew up together, their lives intertwined like vines on the same tree. Everyone in the village knew that if you saw Rita, Vera was not far behind. Chapter 3, The Turning Point. But life has a way of testing even the strongest bonds. As they grew older, their paths began to shift. Rita was bright, studious, and dreamed of one day leaving the village to become a teacher. Vera, though clever in her own way, was more drawn to the rhythm of the land, farming, music, and the pulse of community life. It started small. Disagreements over little things. A missed appointment. A harsh word said in haste. But then came the day that would change everything. Rita received news that she had been accepted into a scholarship program in the city. It was the chance she had always dreamed of. She ran to Vera, expecting her to be overjoyed. But instead, she was met with silence. Vera's smile didn't reach her eyes. "So, you're leaving?" she asked quietly. Rita nodded, breathless with excitement. "Yes. But it's just for studies. I'll come back, I promise." But Vera's face hardened. "You're forgetting us already. You're forgetting me." And in that moment, the crack between them grew wider. Chapter 4, Pride and Silence. Neither of them truly meant the words that followed. But anger is like fire, once sparked, it spreads. Vera accused Rita of thinking she was better than the village. Rita, hurt, snapped back that Vera was holding her back. Voices rose, tears burned, and at the end of it all, silence fell. For weeks, then months, they didn't speak. Rita wrote letters late at night, drafts of apologies she never sent. She would type out messages on her phone, her thumb hovering over the send button, only to delete them. And on the other side, Achieng too carried her pain in silence. She wanted to reach out, but her pride whispered, "Let her come first. She's the one who left." Two souls aching for each other, but neither willing to take the first step. Chapter 5. The Last Meeting. One evening, years later, fate brought them together again. Rita had returned to the village for a short visit. She walked down the familiar dusty path and saw her, Vera, standing under the old acacia tree, the very place they had shared countless childhood moments. Their eyes met. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then, slowly, Rita walked closer. "It's been a while," Rita said softly. Vera smiled faintly, her eyes glistening. "Too long." And just like that, the walls began to crumble. They talked for hours, sitting under the tree until the sun dipped low and the stars came out. They laughed about old memories, the time they stole mangoes from the chief's tree, the nights they whispered about their dreams. They cried about the years lost to silence. At one point, Vera's voice broke. "Why did we let this slip away?" Rita's throat tightened. She wanted to explain, to undo the years, to go back to when things were simple. But all she managed was a whisper, "I don't know. I'm sorry." They hugged tightly, as if afraid that letting go would mean losing each other all over again. It was beautiful. It was healing. But it was also the last time they would ever speak. Chapter 6. The News. Days later, tragedy struck. Vera was gone. A sudden illness, swift and merciless, claimed her life. The village mourned. but none mourned like Rita. She replayed that final evening over and over in her mind, every word, every smile, every tear. And though she was grateful for that last conversation, it also broke her in ways she could not explain. Chapter 7. The weight of regret. Grief is heavy, but regret is heavier. Rita would walk past the well and expect to see Vera there, laughing as she filled her pot. She would reach for her phone, thinking of sending a message, only to remember there would be no reply. She often asked herself, what if I had apologized sooner? What if I had swallowed my pride? What if we had not wasted all those years? But questions don't bring back the dead. They only remind us of what could have been. Chapter 8. The lesson. Time passed, but the ache remained. One evening, Rita gathered a group of children from the village under that same acacia tree. She told them her story, their story. She wanted them to understand something she had learned too late, that friendships are fragile. That pride can steal years you'll never get back. That sometimes, one conversation, one single word, can be the difference between regret and peace. And she ended with these words. If someone matters to you, don't wait. Don't let silence grow between you. Speak, forgive, and love, because you never know when the last conversation will come. Closing. And so, the story of Rita and Vera lingers, not just in the dusty paths of their village, but in the hearts of those who hear it. Maybe, as you listen, you think of someone in your own life. Someone you've drifted from. Someone you've been meaning to call, but haven't. Perhaps, tonight, after this story, you will. Because sometimes, the most painful words are not the ones we say, but the ones we never do.